Hey everybody, today let's go back to the last election into the US House and look at the 10 closest margins. We all know these final results where Republicans came out with a 5-seat majority, 220 to 215. But we're going to look at the 10 narrowest races and they were all under 2 points. 5 of them were won by the Republicans, 5 by the Democrats, and 5 also were flips. So these are likely to be prime targets for the upcoming midterms. So we're going to use Wikipedia and we're going to start here with number 10. This is North Carolina's first. And since the election before this, the map was redrawn yet again, and this is the most competitive district in the state. It's located here in the Northeast, and it was won by Democrat Don Davis. He won by about 1.7. And of the 10 districts we're going to look at, this one has the lowest median household income. It's at about 55,000 here according to the last update. Now with the racial demographics, this district does have a significant black population. It's over 40% here. And the Cook PVI has it here at D+2. So there was some thinking that if the Republicans had a strong night, they'd be able to flip this seat. It is in a region of the state that we'd have to watch going forward. Obviously, since it was so narrow, if the trends continued at all, Republicans could flip it. But for right now, it looks like this is going to be Don Davis's seat. Let's go to number 9, and we're going to do Pennsylvania. This is going to be the first of several in the Keystone State. This is the 8th district, and this one is located in the northeast part of the state. It is a little bit more working class, and this is the seat that was held by Democrat Matt Cartwright for a long time. Republicans have gotten close. They've been looking to take him down in this red trending area, but they finally pulled it off here in 24. The median household income is higher than the one in North Carolina, but it's not exactly extremely high. But the winner here was Rob Bresnahan, the Republican, and he won by about 1.6. Cook PVI has this rated at R+4. In every election, the specifics are going to matter, but as far as the characteristics of this district, Republicans should be able to hold on here unless a blue wave type of environment develops, and at 26, that is a possibility. But for right now, this was a key flip and a big pickup here for the GOP. Let's go to number 8, and this is going to be in the same state. This is the 10th district, and this covers the capital of Harrisburg. Now, this one was just a little bit narrower than the 8th, but Republican Scott Perry, he held on. Now, the household income here is higher, but Cook PVI has this rated at R+5. So there's no question this is going to be a prime target for the Democrats, especially if it's any kind of favorable environment. So I have to see how Scott Perry kind of positions himself if he's going to run again in 26. Next, we're going to surprisingly keep it in the exact same state. We're going to look at the 7th district. This is right under the 8th. So this is north of all the suburban Philadelphia counties. It covers Lehigh and Northampton counties, and it was held by Democrat Susan Wild until Ryan McKenzie, the Republican, flipped it and won it in 24. Now the margin here was just at 1%, and you can see the household median income here is at 79K. There's a notable Hispanic population here as well. We've got 19%, and the Cook PVI has it at R+2. If you look at the other statewide results here in 22, you can see they did vote for Fetterman by 5 points and Governor Josh Shapiro by 12. But in 24, there was enough there for Ryan McKenzie to just barely be able to flip this seat. And given the narrow margin in the House, this was another massive flip for the Republicans. I'm sure Democrats are going to be eager to try to take down McKenzie in 26. Let's go to number 6. We've got Colorado in the 8th district. Now, this is a brand new district after the 2020 redistricting, and Cook PVI has this one rated at even. And you can see it's located just outside of Denver, north of it. So it's not a huge district, but the median household income here is $92,000, so that's pretty significant. Now the racial breakdown here is about 38.5% Hispanic. That's the highest percentage in the state, and that's where Trump made a lot of gains at in 24. And that was enough to flip the seat from freshman Democrat Yadira Caraveo to Republican Gabe Evans. Evans won by about 0.7. It was a narrow margin 2 years before that for Caraveo. The other statewide races here show narrow leads for the Democrats, low to mid single digits. Those are for the elections back in 22. So this district has a good mix of different things for each side to focus on. Democrats are looking at the suburban aspect, Republicans looking at the Hispanic voters. And this is the kind of district I could see going back and forth election after election. Next, number 5, we've got Maine's 2nd. This is the redder and the northern of Maine's 2 districts. We can see the map right here. This covers a lot of area and it's represented by Jared Golden, the Democrat. He's considered a blue dog moderate type of Dem. And they have this district at 72% rural and 28% urban. The median income here is lower, definitely, than the Colorado district. It's down to 61,000. Now, the racial breakdown here is about 91% white, but the Cook PVI has it at R+6. Now, there's also ranked choice voting in this state, but Golden won another term by about 0.7. However, this is exactly the kind of district that could flip for the Republicans as soon as Golden decides to either retire or run for another office. A lot of that is going to be because Trump won this district by close to 10 points, but they had a lot of crossover vote and supported Golden. Golden could lose on his own, but I think Republicans are just hoping he retires, maybe runs for the Senate or governor. Even if they lose those races, I think they'd be likely to have a pickup here in Maine's 2nd. Let's do number 4. We've got Ohio's 9th. And this district is located in the northwest corner of the state. It covers Toledo, and the margin here was about 0.6, and the winner was very long-time Democrat Marcy Kaptur. Voters there are definitely familiar with Kaptur, but according to the Cook PVI, after the last round of redistricting, it does have an R+3 rating. Now, given the median household income and the racial breakdown, it would seem like this is another good opportunity for the Republicans here to flip. So just like in Maine's 2nd, I think this is a pretty likely flip once Kaptur decides to retire. However, another crucial thing to mention here is the Ohio congressional map is going to be redrawn again for 2026. So once that's all said and done, maybe the district looks totally different. If Republicans end up taking advantage of that process, they could make this district just slightly redder, and that could be enough to take down Kaptur even if she runs again in 26. So this is another district that has a significant amount of crossover vote. You can see here in 24 for president, Trump carried it by 7 points, but they also voted for Sherrod Brown, the Democrat, just barely in the Senate, while also supporting Kaptur here in the House. So a lot to look at here with the Ohio map and this district in particular. Now let's go to number 3. We've got California's 45th, and this district is located in the Orange and LA County vicinity, and it was won by Democrat Derek Tran, and he took down incumbent Republican Michelle Steele by just 0.2 of a point. So you can take a look at the district boundaries of this map, and just on a glance, this district looks pretty ugly, but that all comes out to a Cook PVI rating of D+2. Now, the median household income here is over 100K, but there is also a significant Asian population. Here it's at 38%, also 30% Hispanic. So there's a lot going on here. It's definitely a swingy, competitive district. I thought Michelle Steele would have held on here, but it looks like Derek Tran was able to narrowly clinch it. So I'm not sure what happens with this district going forward. I guess it depends on which way Asian and Hispanic voters are going to decide to move. Next, it's number 2, and it's Iowa's 1st. Now, Iowa has 4 districts, and this one is in the southeast quadrant of the state. You can see it here. A lot of that area encompasses places that used to be friendly toward Obama, but have moved hard toward Trump over the past decade and a half. Now, the median household income here is about 71K. The racial breakdown here is at about 83% white, and Cook PVI has it at R+3. Now, the winner, though, was incumbent Marionette Miller Meeks, and she was able to win her 3rd term by about 0.2%. So that is very narrow. However, that was a lot wider than her first win back in 2020 when she won by only 6 votes. That was one of the closest margins ever. So she's got her 3rd term, but she's definitely going to be highly vulnerable heading into the midterms. Democrats control none of these 4 congressional districts in Iowa, so they definitely want to get some sort of representation back in this state. She did win by about 6 to 7 points in the last midterms, so I think it all depends on the turnout, the candidates, and the issues in the national environment. But let's look at number 1, the absolute closest U.S. House race of 2024. So we're going back to California, and it's going to be the 13th district. This one took a very long time to count, but eventually Adam Gray, the Democrat, flipped and knocked off incumbent freshman John Duarte, the Republican. That the district does have a D+4 rating. The median household income is about $65,000. Large Hispanic population here of about 66%. So what happened here? Well, you can look at the other results here. For president, Trump won it comfortably by about 5 points. They voted for Steve Garvey for Senate by about 4. And the last statewide races in 2022, they voted for all the Republicans. So with the GOP doing strong here at the top of the ticket, why did it not translate down to this U.S. House race? Well, I don't think it's an easy answer. I think the district is undergoing a political transformation. Back in 2020, they voted for Biden by 11 points. So that is a dramatic about 16-point shift in just 4 years for president. Again, I think a lot of that is going to be driven by Hispanic voters. And there must have just been much more enthusiasm for Trump at the absolute top, not so much for John Duarte a little bit down ballot. He was an incumbent, that sometimes helps, but I think this poses a problem for both sides. Republicans have got to be able to figure out how to win here without Trump and to have some of that support spread further down the ballot. But Democrats did secure this seat by less than 200 votes. If they can flip this seat in the House and have Biden win it by double digits in 2020, they've got got to ask themselves how they lost so many voters for president. So even though this is rated as a D+4 by the Cook PVI, just like all the other ratings here from Cook, I'm guessing these are going to have to be updated since the last election. But either way, Republicans are going to be gunning for Adam Gray here in the upcoming midterms. So that was the closest race, and if you want to see the full list of all the close races, it's right here. So we cover the top 10, that starts right here. Don Bacon, he's in 11th place, he just missed out here. So pretty much everything under 5 points I think is going to be competitive for the next election. And like with pretty much every election now, I think we're going to see a good chunk of rematches. It happens all the time. If you just miss out or you happen to get defeated, you're hoping the next race is a little bit more in your favor, people know your name already, and you're going to be able to win that seat or come back into office. So again, of these 10 closest races, 5 of them were won by the Republicans and 5 by the Dems, and 5 of them in total were flips. And this is where the entire House majority was won or lost. So let's look at the 10 closest races. So a ton of it is going to come down to the candidates themselves as well as the key issues at the time. Given the Republicans are going to be in control, Democrats could become energized. That could lead to a bunch of Republican retirements. But there's also a chance that Democrats are just burnt out, and maybe the perception of the GOP in control defies expectations and they prove to be popular. Anything can happen. It's way too early to be talking about the midterms. But a good place to start here is going to be from these close races back in 2024. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about any of these 10 close House races? Which one do you think was the most surprising? Which do you think are most likely to flip in the future? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.